Is this an example of where you think the legislature, which is, they call it a mega majority now in Sacramento, mega majority Democrat, meaning we're at like 80% Democrats, I think in both the Senate and the Assembly right now. Do you think this is where they've gone a little bit too far and we need to move back towards the middle?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who votes in California, if you're better off 4 years for the last 4 years, then I would say if you're better than the last 4 years, vote for my opponent, because obviously what she's doing is helping you. But I don't know any California that sees the state going in the right direction. Actually, everybody's suffering. So we need to, change that supermajority, the mega majority. And, the only way we're going to have checks and balances is if we start to chip away at that mega majority and get in there and get a different opinion. Right now, I could look at every vote for my opponent, and she's voted directly upon party lines. So whatever they want, it's a yes or no vote. She'll vote exactly that way. And my concern is she's not even listening to her community, because AB 1955, which is parental rights, hiding what your student comes to you and talks to a teacher and hiding that from the parents. The only person that really cares about the child is the parents. I have a son that was born at 805 grams, 1 pound, 12 ounces. I know what he can and can't take, and I know everything that's going on in his life. So that's something the teachers don't know. They don't understand, and hiding any information from the parents is just, it's unbelievable. I'm trying to think of the legal word, but it's just horrible what they're doing, because you can't do that for children, and that's when I think about our laws and everything in the mega majority, that's what we run into. We run into individuals that are voting for. My community is, my district is from Long Beach to Commerce, all the way on the 710. Every city that touches the 710, east of the 710. That community is heavy Latino, and when we look at the votes in the Senate, they're voting for biological men in girls' restrooms or girls' locker rooms. Any Latino man will tell you, no way, I do not want a man in my daughter's bathroom. But my opponent's voting yes for that. She's clearly going opposite of what her community believes, and basically her constituents believe. So.
Yeah, and do you think that's just because the average parent now is really busy or working all the time, most of the time, both parents, and they just don't know what our current legislators are pushing through? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
You're working, and some parents are working 12-hour days, 10-hour days, and they get home and they just want to eat, talk to give their kid a hug and a kiss and go to bed, and they're not really talking about what happened during the day because they're exhausted. Yeah. And that they're trying to make the best life for their child, and they're relying on what they believe. They're assuming that is everybody believes, and it's really not what's happening right now. The education system is just really crazy. I mean, my son has a math class, and he walks into his math class, and his teacher goes, "Hey, I was at a friend's house who only has girls, and my son played with the Barbie house and everything, and it was just great." And my son looked at his classmate and goes, "What does this have to do with math?" And it's just, they're always pushing this agenda, and that's why it's concerning, because there's twofold that you were mentioning. You were mentioning the politicians are passing and the parents don't know what's happening, but at the same time, it's happening it's a two-front attack, that the teachers are doing the same thing at school. And so unless you talk with your children, you don't know. And a lot of times you don't have time because they're in high school, and it's not something they want to talk to their parents about. It's not something they feel comfortable talking about. I mean, I know when I was in high school, I didn't tell my parents what was going on in high school because it just wasn't comfortable. And these teachers know that. And so that's why it's really scary. So you have the politicians passing and the teachers hitting on both sides, and then you have parents that are just working to provide for their children, and they're good people. And unfortunately, the children are suffering.